these Legos. Bricks and toys.
All right, everybody. So we're live. We're live on multiple platforms. I'm just kind of waiting for people to get here, get going. But we are going to work on bags 3 and probably 4 of our Cayi block Sakura-Lume book Nook. So we have got quite a bit of it set. I'm sorry, I've got like coffee and all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna throw that up there. Rascal's up here with me. Put him up there on that box. Get him out of the way. So we've got the book Nook home. See if maybe I can tilt it back that way. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. So we've got this whole beautiful sort of house setup. And I initially got it because I wanted to do a whole block, with this being a 16 by 32. I've got another one now. I'm going to redo the backing of it. But I kind of wanted to have these two houses kind of close to each other and build out like a plate worth of something. So when I go to rebuild it, I'll probably build these two in one block. And then just kind of change like what's what, where one is versus the other. Let me darken that up just a little bit. There we go. There we go. We'll do it like that. So this was a Sweet Hut by Kingdom Block. And of course this is the Cayi house that we're working on. This one's fully modular, this one's not. So somewhere down the road I will probably be getting a secondary set of this or another one that can match it and mock that into its own house, because I'd like to see that being two different houses. So this one will finish up today. This one will put off. I had to rebuild this one, but I'm not too keen on the back wall. Like I want to get some hinges and actually open it up, but I like the look of this, but I might want to extend this out, do like stairs coming from this section up, do like a landing, and actually like build this up as a house. So I'll probably be looking at the bamboo house from Lume Bricks. That's kind of a retrofit of what should it look like. And then I'm going to take cues from a lot of the Lume Bricks bamboo house set. So when I set these up in its own street corner, I'd like to put them near the bamboo house and kind of have more of the bamboo, build more bamboo shoots coming out. And I've got pieces for that. But then also have like palm trees, so it actually will sit into the city at some point. So, all right. Because I want to have like where I have like the skate shop, hardware store. I want to have another spot where I actually have kind of a district where people actually, like a bedroom area. Hey Mo, how are you? Gains and airplanes, I love it. How are you today, bud? You doing good? Evolving, how are you? All right, so we are on bag number 3 of the Cayi house. So for those, if you weren't here last week, it's this bad boy right here. And so it actually has a light kit in it. Now the light kit is one of those very, very interesting light kits, because it's a box like this. It has the little batteries in it, but it does also have a USB port to it. So in theory, if I want to take some of this out, run a wire through, I could run this up the USB and possibly use this USB with another set, so that way I've got multiple lights. But we still have one more light to put in. It's got an interior light right now. It'll have a street lamp that goes out here, and then this one might be like a lamp that goes up top. So that's kind of where we're at on this. Other than that, we've got these doors that open. There were some loose parts that I put up and changed, even added a stud here because it didn't have anything to hold the hat on. So there's some rebuild need in this. There's also, it comes on a base plate. That'll have to change. The base plates are not good enough to to build with for a structure that you're wanting to move. Hey Tina, how are you? And let's see, Tom's super idea. What's up, bud? Marble, Eric, Ink. How are you all today? Hopefully you're all doing pretty good. Having a good day. All right. So with that, Cayi does put all of their stuff in modular bags. We get modular bags like this that have like bag 3 for everything for bag 3. There is a part of me that wishes Lume would do this. I'm a huge advocate for Luma bricks, and there's a part of me that wishes that Luma bricks would actually separate everything into like big bags for their steps, but you know, they don't have to. By any means, they do not have to. They do not have to listen to me and my skill set of being around for a while. Alright, so we do need... got one more plate over here, or one more organizer over here. So I normally do big plates and pieces over here, bricks, that sort of thing. I'll do smaller stuff over there. These, all small. This kind of sits between, but I'll put this one in here. Small stuff will go there. And sometimes it makes things easier to find. Not always. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Let's see. Okay, I was just checking that. It had an enhance button. I wanted to make sure everything was good. So, peeps on my TikTok platform, if you're hearing me and the music's not bothering you, you know, you can give me a thumbs up, give me some likes, whatever you want, but I want to make sure that you're able to hear it. If you're not able to hear it, definitely let me know so I can put on a filter or something, so that way you can hear me without a problem. I know for my other stream, they've got a mic right here, so that's easy for them to find me here. Hey, Bam! Ban him, Jim. What's up, bud? How are you today? You doing good? Alright. Ben, have you done any good builds lately? Or have you actually, let's talk Fortnite. Have you gotten have you gotten all the sprites yet? Because the other day I opened up, let's see, I got so far I have the golden water, golden earth, and golden fire. And the golden fire is the last one I got. Burnt peanut, the gummy water, and gummy earth. I got the, well, it's not the 0 point, but it's like the oh man, it's like the star looking one, but I got that one in fire, I believe. So I got some pretty cool ones. Good old coffee. All right. So we're working on this section here. We're going to turn this around. And we're going to be working right... Let's see if I can tilt that a little bit more so you guys can see what we're building. Be building right up here. So we do need one of these 6x5 plants. A 3x5 plant, which should be right there. 2 of these 3 leaves on stem, a 1 3-point leaf on stud, and then 1, 2, 3 of these studded riveted flowers. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. Alright. Okay, so hopefully everybody's good, right? Okay. So here we go. With our leaf, we're going to go ahead and put this on. We're going to pop this up on the top. And then we've got one of these leaves going here in the center. Stem here. Now, probably when I get to the point when I'm rebuilding some of this, because I usually, I like I like building things as is, and then I like turning around and like building them into something else. So like right now, I'm working on a Cyberpunk Trauma Team dropship. Now it's not Cyberpunk 2027, but I took that Slubon medical airplane and I'm rebuilding it as a dropship. So I'll work on like a pod underneath for my trauma team. I'm actually going to build like a trauma team, and then I'm rebuilding this into a flight ship and flight pod. So I went ahead and redesigned the interior with both controls and steering wheel. I got a couple of pilots from my mail blocks that I've turned into trauma team pilots, but I might replace those helmets over time or add something to it. But yeah, this is, so far, this is what I'm rebuilding for my city. So as I'm working through and building stuff, I'm trying to get it to where I have like new builds. So once I build it, usually build it, review it, play with it for a little bit, I'll turn around and I will mod it, turn it into something else, and then end up putting it in the city. The only thing, there's only a, like, when it comes to my Lumabrick sets, I haven't really rebuilt those. Mold King, so a lot of my Mold King sets, like my Harbor stuff, they stay kind of the same, but I will fix and change certain aspects of it to fit what I need. Okay, so this is supposed to fit right onto here. We're going to take that off. We're going to plug that into there. Turn it this way, huh? Oh, I see. That's going to fit onto here. That's a little odd, because now that pushes the plant out. Let's fix that. Let's absolutely fix that. Okie dokie. Okay. No, I think it's supposed to fit. It feels very pressured. I almost feel like there need to be another stud up there for that. Okay. Now we'll fit that back on there, just like that. Like I said, I'm just making sure that I'm not missing anything. So I'm looking every once in a while, just make sure I got everything. Okay. So our next thing right here, we've got all small parts. We've got Coyote Brown, we've got a plate with clip, a plate with bar, an ingot in gray, a jumper plate, and it looks like a jumper plate in dark gray. We've got a bar. Oh wow, that's a teeny tiny, it's like a number 2 bar. Look at that thing. That is super small. It's a teeny tiny bar. And then we need a rocket booster in gray. We don't see these very often, though. These are actually pretty cool little building pieces, but you don't see them very often. Though I do feel like Lego's starting to kind of make a comeback on them. Like they're trying to pull some old pieces out of the back room and be like, here, let's use this. I see it a lot with off-brand sets. I do see it a lot there. And growing up, especially growing up dealing with space and the space sets, I had a lot of those pieces. I'm going to turn it this way. I think this is supposed to be like a little satellite. Actually, that's a pretty good building technique for some technology. Look at that. So, still sticking with the cyberpunk, I could always add more like boxes and things to the outside there. That's going to fit right onto here. Boom. Tilt that up. We got ourselves a little technology house thingy. Technology. Alright, it's another 3-stemmed 1-stud leaf. Another one of these 3x5 stemmed plants, 6x5 stemmed plants, a 3-leafed stem, and 1, 2, 3 of these studded textured flower 1x1 round plates. This time we're putting plants over on this side right here. Okay, so we've got one, y'all. We're going to turn this plant the opposite way, and that's to fit onto here. Okay, let's go ahead and put our studded plant. Studded plant. Our leaf should go right here. Turn back that direction. I like the look of this. It's a little bright. I have a feeling that when I get this into the city and I'm building it there, I will be changing quite a bit. And the reason why is because my city is going to be more autumn based. It's coastal, so not everything has to be brown. I'll still have a lot of green, sage, things like that, but I'll probably build this. This would be good for vine work, but I'd like to see more color in it, and possibly some other areas that are like broken down, and vines that run up through both, or like run and kind of connect, so it looks like one runs into the other. If it's supposed to be like a plant, you want to have something that starts here and kind of can mosey on up. So like this should probably turn that way and go across that way. Again, when we get to that point, we'll switch it up and move it. The idea with a lot of this, especially with Lego building a model building, is that if you're basing it on things that exist in real life, or you're basing something off the idea that it could exist in real life, then you want to make sure that when you're putting it down, those areas represent those thoughts and feelings about where things go. So if you have vine work on the side of the house, that's great. Where does it start? Where does it come from? So I'll do things like I'll do planters outside, and then I'll put greenery in it, and then I'll run the leaf system up and around it, so it looks like, hey, we've got plants out there, or we've got this, and now it's running up the side of the building. You don't want to just assume that it's like, oh, this thing's growing out of the wall. That makes no sense. So again, trying to ground it in reality is the way to go. Okay, so we've got a 1x4 slope, and it's a rounded slope too. That's pretty interesting. We got a 1x4. We need how many of these 1x3s? If it's a 1x3, I figured it would be, yeah, there it is, 1x3. So we need, alright, let's do it this way. That, a 1x4. It goes between these. A 1x3. We need, how many is there? 2 of these weirded doubled stud things. That's so odd. They do have some very odd parts in here, and some areas where they have built furniture in such a unique way, it's not even like, I would never rebuild any of my furniture like this. Like, it's a very odd experience. Not that it's bad, it's just odd. Very, very odd. Sometimes when you try to push so hard to have certain like proprietary parts, it can feel just kind of ick, like nothing's really working the way it's supposed to. Alright, so here we go. We're going to be putting 2 plates. We've got this plate's going on the bottom. We've got the slope that's going right up above it. We've got this going here. We've got a 1x3 plate. Now, what they're doing is they're using these Technic pinholes, and they're studding into it. A lot of people feel that's an illegal technique. It's not. It's just a technique. It doesn't get used very often, though. It's actually a pretty good technique to have, because then you can build it up and then pin it into something. Though I see a lot of people using those and then using the small studs to put on the bottom. Now this is where it gets kind of odd. So we're using these round plates to essentially create 2 or 3 of these plates up, which it would have made more sense just to use 2 1x2 rounded plates with Technic pins. Like, I don't understand the thought process behind these particular parts. Could I use them for something else? Most definitely. And probably down the road, if I really feel I had to rebuild this and rebuild the furniture, I will probably rebuild that. That's just a little odd in my opinion. Very, very odd. Weird. Weird, weird. Alright, so 1, 2, and then we're going to be spinning this around. And that's going to go right in here. It would have been nice, and I'm going to be honest here, it would have been very nice if they would have changed the color of the couch from the house. So it, again, something different. But because it is the same exact color, it just kind of blends in. This should have been in like a green or just something just a little bit different than what we had before. Because now it's great, it's there, it blends in, but it blends in. It doesn't feel like it stands out. And as furniture, I would want it to stand out a little bit. Just be a little bit different. But what do I know, man? I'm just a builder. I've been building for years now. You know, I was sitting there thinking about it because I can't remember, someone was asking me. They're like, you know, what was your first set? I'm like, well, the first set I remember getting that I got for Christmas was it was from 1986, I believe, and it was the Alien Moonwalker. I was at 6904. Hold on, I'm gonna have to look. Lego Land Alien Moonwalker. 6940. Yep. Alien Moonwalker from the Space Series. And that was yeah, I believe that was, I'm looking to see what year that was. It doesn't say, but I believe it was 1986. Yeah, I mean, that's like, I've been building since 1986. Hey, who is it? Hey, Jelly's Bricks. I'm gonna go check out your page. Alright. Yeah, that was since 1986 I have been building. And I had a few sets before that. I had some generic, like, Lego sets, too, that were, like, they were given to me when I was really young. I had Duplo. I remember having Duplo when I was a kid. I remember having other building kits that had these, like, balls that were, like, they were almost like isohedrons that had, like, little stems you put in. That had, like, red and yellow plates you would snap onto it. You could make geometric designs. Which is why when the Discovery Channel did the stems and you could build forts and stuff, like, I got a couple of those kits for my kid. We love those. We would get and build so many cool, crazy things. And it kind of plays back to when I was a kid. I would build this stuff over and over and over. I loved it. And, yeah, that was like an ongoing thing for me growing up, is I built a lot of building blocks, a lot of crazy stuff. And that was, I've been building for a very long time. And to cut down to the actual short instead of dragging it on, probably like driving people crazy. I've been building for almost 40 years. Oh wow, dude, I just dated myself in the worst possible way. Yeah. By the way, I'm older than that. Yeah, 40 something years, man. I have been building and engineering and putting stuff together somehow. And of course I like carpentry work and painting and doing all sorts of things. But yeah, like I enjoy this sort of stuff. And I'm actually starting to take this and utilize it in a way where I'm starting to build books. I've got my cyberpunk pad. This right here, if I can... I don't know if I can pull the whole thing down right now. Can I? No, let me see if I can just pull this portion off. Well, it's actually just, it's not even the whole thing. It's this right here. All right. Drop that back down here. There we go. So, and I'll put this medical bay portion back up here. I've got a whole building that I've been working on that's like kind of a cyberpunk mishmash building. So this thing right here, I turned around and I built this on Rebrickable, or not Rebrickable, on Studio 2.0. And I broke everything down. And not all these parts are exactly what the final model would be. But I learned how to make sure that I was building a model that had actual colors that were in stock with Bricklink, that had, you know, actual this and this, and I got it down. It's about 255 pieces, and I got it down to, if you were to order it on Bricklink, it would cost me like $47. So I was able to like bring that price down. And actually, the ending model, I think I'd like to order one to put up to because some of the stuff I changed on it, I think just looks amazing. Like, it looks really, really good. And it's like one of those you could take and just set kind of anywhere. You put on the ground, you can put it on stilts. Just kind of a really cool building set. I thought about building like a small vehicle to put with it, but I think I might just leave it as the landing pad and then do another mock later on down the road. But yeah, so I'm learning that right now. And actually, I was working on the booklet, and I ran into problems with the booklet because the way that the AI has set up some of the pages, I didn't like the directions. So I'm going back and I'm like re-putting in where I want specific things to go. So I'm like taking their jumping point and now fixing it so that way it makes a little bit more sense on the direction of you do this, then this, and then this. So I'm working right now on that book, and I'll price it out, and then I'll put it out as a PDF. Jeff, what's up, my man? How are you? You doing okay today? All right. So now we're going to be working, okay, so we're running a wire up through, and we're using their proprietary bricks in order to run a wire. And I'll have to check and see which wire it is. But we're going to be running a wire up and through the build somehow. So let's take a look. You're good? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So we do need the other one of these. So let's see. We should have this light. I'm going to go ahead and dump those in there. So we have extra. Pull the stickers off to the side. Alright. So we're going to be running this wire, this light, up through. Now, what they've given us these proprietary bricks, which remind me of somebody. Reminds me of Luma Bricks, but this is not Luma Bricks. Yeah, so the Old West Gold Mine. So, Jeff, gotta ask, that Old West Gold Mine, have you been playing with it nonstop? Like, I found a way to, like, hang the guys on the little rope in the back and run the rail through, and I had, like, the crane pick up the cart and, like, turn it and, like, move it, like, oh yeah, dude, I absolutely love that set. Once I get things cleared in here and finished, one of my things I wanted to do was, hey Kobe, was get the city stuff that's out there and put it in here to build with the coastal city. And then I want to take all my Old West stuff and start putting it out. And they announced a Indian fur trade, which I want to get, and then the ranch duel set that I also want to grab. So there's lots of good stuff coming out. Lots and lots and lots. Of course, I still haven't picked up the blacksmith, haven't picked up the carpenter, haven't picked up a lot of those. Kobe, how you doing today? I had a tough time getting the string tied around the claw part. Yeah, that one was difficult. I can't remember because I think like they wanted you to do the interior and then run it up through. I ended up going back and taking the string and tying it to the claw and then running it backwards to bring up into the build, and I felt like that felt a little bit better. Pretty good. So Kobe, I did a thing, man. I went ahead and I finally watched the Spider-Man No Way Home. I finally got around to it. I really liked that movie. That was good. And thing is, though, like for me, I loved Tobey Maguire's character in that. Like his Spider-Man still is, in my opinion, hands down, still the best Spider-Man. It's gonna cross my arms, say, "Prove me wrong." No, we might actually go and watch that today. So after I'm done here, we were looking at movie times to go watch the Masters of the Universe movie. So He-Man is on my list. I don't know if I made it enough time to watch the new Mandalorian Grogu. I don't know if my theater still has it. Used to be I would always hit these up on like the dollar cinema when they would hit that kind of bottom tier, like, hey, we're going away sort of thing. But I have a feeling that one I'll end up just having to see when it comes out on Disney Plus. But He-Man, the Masters film, my wife was like, we have to see that because it was such a big thing for me growing up. And also for my kid, that was like some of his first action figures. He saw mine when I was like moving my office stuff, and he fell in love with them. And then after that, he decided he wanted his own, and so we started looking at. We would go to an old like resale shop that was here in my town. It went away. It's not with us anymore. But he would go, and a lot of his first figures were Masters of the Universe. That should be going to Prime Video. Okay. Well, Masters or Mandalorian and Grogu. Because Mandalorian and Grogu, that'll go to that'll end up going to Disney Plus. But I know Masters we want to see in the theater. Like that is one that we have to see that in the theater. All right. I am gonna be jumping ahead a little bit, and here's my reason why. They have us putting this wire in here. Okay. Oh man. Alright, so a couple things I'm going to do here. I'm not going to follow through exactly what they have. Instead, I'm going to turn this way. And I'm going to build this in the opposite direction of what they have. I'm playing with my G1 inspection kickback. Playing with my G1 inspection kickback. I'm missing something. I'm not understanding. G1 inspection kickback. What is that? Hold on, guys. I'm looking here. Okay. These guys are dopes. I'm just getting misspelled. Oh, in section. Okay. Yeah. Did you ever check out the Sectars, Warriors of the Symbion? I know my buddy Jeff from Talking Toys, my best friend, that was not his favorite toy line. He absolutely hated it because of the insect things. He's like, I don't like this. All right, I'm going to run this wire. Now, here's my thing, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cheat it a little bit here because I'm kind of in the know, having worked with wires. What they are wanting is not going to function the way that they think. So I'm going to go ahead and cap this over here. Push this wire down over here. Sorry, I'm getting in my camera space over here on this one. Wait, put this down and then I will check messages. There you go. Had a crash out the other day with you did. I saw the new release of the bigger animals they can ride on. They don't look so good. Oh, Vintage Transformer. Yeah, the Generation 1. I had a feeling that you were talking about Transformers there, and I was like, wait a second. Yeah, the Riding Beast. So I had a lot of the Riding Beast when I was a kid. I had the two main ones, both the flying ones. I had Dargon and his Dragon Flyer, and I had Spydrax and his Spider Flyer. Which is interesting because I'm like, I have like arachnophobia pretty bad. Like it bothers the snot out of me. But I understand them well enough as like predators that became one of my favorite toys was Spydrax and his Spider Flyer. But one of the things that I liked is that the flying mechanism, everything they have with them, like it's a puppet that you put your hand in. They don't look as furry. Yeah, so the new one, so the Dragon Flyer glove was kind of a satin sort of. It was a different glove. It had like kind of points on it, so it looked more like little feet. The Spider Flyer was all fuzzy, and then the Dragon Flyer had fur around its collar, and that was it. And I think that's what they're trying to do and keep is that sort of look and allure. But you're right, they do not look as fuzzy as the originals, and that's a little bit disappointing because the originals were so good. I don't know if I mentioned that I talked to not Brian, but the guy who runs the I'm gonna move this up a little bit kind of over. Brian Volse, I can't remember his whole name, but he runs Toy Nacelle. And I had commented, I was like, hey, this looks amazing. I love the way that everything's set, but I was like, you got to make sure that it has the saddlebags. And I kind of called them out on it because the vintage toy had saddlebags, and that's what held on to all of the stuff. So like the extra rifles and all that, all of it was saddlebagged. And so I was really wanting to make sure that they continued with that pattern. So I'm hoping that they will put that on. Hey, Jesse. It's me, Jesse. How are you today? All right, so I'm not missing parts, but I am trying to figure out the color coordination of some of these parts. They don't make sense. I'm guessing it's off-white. I'm thinking they did not color code their stuff the right way. 1, 2. And I do not have extra bags. I do not have extra bags out. I wonder if that's like that. Yeah, oh my gosh. Is that the same? Yeah, it is such a light cream color in comparison. Let me put it on the end of this thing and I'll show you. So like in the booklet, one looks tan and one doesn't, but one is like cream colored and one is white. And they are so close to one another, it is hard to tell what is what. Okay, we need 1, 2 of these plant stems. We need a bowl. And then a round plate. And then 3 of these flowers. 1, 2, and 3 of these peckable flowers. Okay. So let's see, we're putting this bowl together. We're putting a leaf in. Doesn't fit, there it goes. I was about to say, that doesn't fit very well. Then we're studying these sorts of peckable flowers. Now when I did the hardware store, we had a lot of these types of flowers. A very old school way of putting that together. Then we get this. That on there. We're going to put 2 of these flowers on. 1 and 2. 1 is missing. And then we're going to build it this way. This is going 1, 2, 3 right here. It gets an upside down green. Very interesting. We get this plate, a jumper plate with our plant in the center. And we're going to be putting this plant here. Now, a lot of this is not organized where everything's on the same level. I would probably fix that down the road. I'm not too keen on that not being like level. Alright, so we need 1, 2 of these flower studs. What is that? Pink? Or a light pink? Like possibly a light pink? Yeah, a light pink flower stud. A brown stud, Technic pin stud. 2 of these 1x1 tiles with pins. Is that a 45-degree tilted pin to stud, and then a yellow piece, which is going to be a book, and we will be like fixing that. Okay, so let's see. With that, stud, or I guess pin to stud to flower. That's going here. And then pin to green stud going there. And then stud to 45 to book. And that'll be going here. And then we have our first sticker for this. Let me find it. It's going to be... Hold on. Alright, so this is one of those where you definitely want to put the stud down first. Did you say that Lumebrick's Western Camp wasn't good? It's okay. One of the things, like, I like the set. I have it. So a lot of the small Western sets I picked up. Like that's, hold on. There we go. A lot of the Lumebrick's Western sets, especially the smaller ones that I could afford, I got a lot of those. The problem that I had with the Cowboy Camp, the battery pack is on the bottom of the stagecoach. Okay, so it's got 2 different pieces. You've got the stagecoach that lights up, and you can convert it so you can put the horse on it. You can drag it around. It's like a chuck wagon, which I dig. I think it's really cool. And I love that aspect. But when it comes to the camp is also powered by the same battery pack that's on the chuck wagon. So if you want the fire of the camp to go, you have to have the chuck wagon setting on a plate, and they have this rock built up, and on the bottom of the chuck wagon you got the spring-loaded connecting clamp, so you have to press that in, and oftentimes when you're moving the chuck wagon, it pulls the plates up, and it'll light everything. The lamp on the inside of the chuck wagon tends to fall. My set had a 1x6 when it called for 1x5, so I had to get that fixed, and they fixed it fine. I mean, it's not a problem, and I think they've repaired that since. Like, that's not an ongoing issue. I think it was just with mine, but it was, I think for me, because I wanted the fire to also be lit up, and I felt like they should have done 2 different battery packs, because there's a lantern in the tent and there's a fire, both of which are lit up by the battery pack that's on the chuck wagon. On the chuck wagon you've got a lamp on the outside and then a lamp on the inside, and so if you remove the chuck wagon, it's on its own, it lights up, but the camp goes dead. Okay, I was thinking about either getting that or the ranger camp. The ranger camp's really good. I was quite surprised. So the ranger camp, if you like medieval stuff, it's pretty cool. I personally like the cowboy camp. The cowboy camp is actually, it's good. Besides for my issue with the way that they lit the chuck wagon, or how the battery pack is with the chuck wagon and not with the camp, and there's not 2 separates, that bothers me. But the way that you put the tree together and the actual landmass of the cowboy camp is genius. Genius. There were parts of the chuck wagon that I didn't feel really worked quite so well, but it's an early build. So if you are planning on getting both at some point, like the ranger camp is a great build, and if you have medieval stuff, I'd say go for it. If you have western stuff and you want to add to the western, I'd probably get the cowboy camp earlier, because it is on the chopping block to go here soon. So like they're gonna start like phasing some of the old stuff, like anything that was under the Fun Hole banner, they're gonna start phasing those out. Ranger camp just came out, so that's still pretty new. Yeah, I like the tree with the buzzer on it. Yeah, dude, it is. And here's the thing. The 2 minifigs that it comes with are stellar. I like the figures that came with the ranger camp, because you get like a healer that's got like blue tattooing on her face, so she looks like a Pict in a way. And then you get like a damaged guy that's got double-sided face, so he's got one where he's like with bandages and one where he's smiling. And you get like a cart and everything. That one's pretty cool, and I like that. But the cowboy camp has some really cool figures in it, and I like the build of the buzzer. The way that they did the gnarled up, like dry tree in the desert is top notch. It is super, super cool. Actually, I took notes from that one, because it's like there were some things that they did with that's like, I want to replicate that. That was pretty good. Both of which are really good. I would say if you're not really looking at getting the cowboy camp ever, like you don't have you're like, I'll probably just pass on it. It's an easy one to pass. If you want to add to the lore of the western sets, it's definitely worth picking up, because there's some good stuff in it. You already have the western stagecoach, it would work with it. It'd work. And actually, the gold mine, the stagecoach, the cowboy camp, those were all on the list to kind of go out. The treasury stagecoach, which I did a review on my YT, it's pretty good. It's a lot like the western stagecoach, but it has like a safe in it. It's got a really cool minifig with that one too. So what I have from western is I have the stagecoach was my first. and then I got the Gold Mine. That was my second. Then I picked up Cowboy Camp, the Traveling Circus, which is also a really cool set. That one's huge, though. It's huge. Share Station, Treasury Stagecoach. Seems like I'm missing something in there. I think that's it. But yeah, there's a lot in there. Oh, and the Sequoia Bandit Camp. That's the other one I have. I'm still not sure how I was supposed to put the tent together on the gold mine. Yeah, so the gold mine, what I ended up doing, and I might make a video of it, and post it and tag you in there, because the way that I'll have to pull it out and dust it because it's kind of like buried on a shelf right now. But the way that I ended up putting it together was not, I think, what they had in mind, and I felt like it kind of was a little bit better. A lot of it is just using the kind of the stiffness or the rigidity of the fabric in order to create a tent, but it's kind of, I don't know, there's a little awkwardness in it in the way that you pin it in the front. There was some rather awkward stuff in it, but it's still, I mean, it's still a good set. But yeah, there's some weird stuff for sure. All right, hold on, guys. I want to see what the end game of this is supposed to be like. I want to see where we're putting our light. I folded the two ends together and put and then pinned it down. I did something similar. Like I said, I might just like do a video and like shoot it to you of what I ended up doing for it. It was a little weird. All right, hold on, guys. I'm kind of going ahead because I think it's supposed to come out and attach up here. Still running that wire through. That's... So where does the other wire go? Okay. This is supposed to go all the way up. No. This one's going to go all the way up in the top. This one I think is supposed to pin to up here. Okay. Yeah. You got to watch oh, the new Spider-Man trailer. I did. Dude, I am so stoked for that. That is going to be such a cool movie. I am wholeheartedly, I cannot wait for that one to come out. That's going to be good. And now that I've seen, now I cheated. I didn't wait to watch it with my family. I just went ahead and watched it because I was like, I don't know when we're getting around to watching it, and that seems to be a usual around here. When I'm like, hey, we should watch this and kind of get things ready, and they're like, oh yeah, and then nothing happens. So I went ahead and I watched it and enjoyed it quite a bit. I am staying at my aunt's house in Miami for a couple weeks. Oh, okay. Oh, for the so you don't have your sets right there. That's okay. So how's Miami, man? I have not been around Miami in forever. We did a couple of jobs a long time ago where we did one photo shoot. We were in the Keys, so we were in Key Largo, I believe. Or no, Isla Morado. That's where we were. It's really nice. Hold on one second, guys. This thing is going to drive me crazy. Okay. So, yeah, we were in Isla Morado shooting, and then we went to the Everglades, and we were shooting at a chimpanzee reserve where they had all these, like, chimpanzees that had been left, or people had them as pets, and then they abandoned them. which is kind of sad. So we went and shot there too, and then when we made it to Miami, we were down in the Bay Area, and we were in this really cool house that had an interior pool, kind of a courtyard pool. I might have had some pictures before I left. I'll have to check. Okay. And it had these like built-in macaw cages, like that were just like hanging out in the middle of this staircase. It was kind of a wild looking place, man. Alright, let's see. We're going to flip that up over here. I will go ahead and admit, these proprietary bricks are not as good as Luma bricks. I'm not even going to lie about it. I might have to do some heavy concentration on this one. And kind of rethink of how I want to build this. Because are we putting a wall on here? Is that what's going on? I'm looking to see if we're going to be building a wall there. So we're off. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to end up just like, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all of this apart. Ugh. Grab that brick right over here. And I am going to do a few things. I'm going to take this one over here. I'm going to stud it over here to kind of get it out of the way. This one needs to plug in. So I'm going to go ahead. I broke my little toy. Every time I hear that line, "You broke your little toy," it makes me think of Star Trek. Oh, hold on. It says, "Why I'm telling you to get a Switch to just a PS4 because it works way better than the Switch 1. What, hold on, I missed something, Kobe. Hold up. Why I'm telling you to get a Switch 2, just get a PS4 because it works better than the Switch 1. Yeah. Oh, okay. My aunt has an in-ground pool in her backyard. Nice. Yeah, so this place, I'd love to build like a mock of it. So it was like I said, it was right on the bay. And it was this really cool house. So it had a pool that was like a round kidney pool. And it was partially covered by kind of a balcony sort of area that went into rooms that went around it. It was like a living room. Had like turned to glass and doors. Then it had a staircase that went up. It was a spiral staircase. And embedded in the wall were these macaw cages. And they had like a red macaw and then a green macaw, which are kind of indigenous around the area. And then they had it went all the way up to like this top area, and it was almost like a piece of fabric canvas that was like a sail in a way that did this really, really cool kind of spiral thing all the way up. It was a really interesting house, to say the least. Like a really kind of crazy cool house, something that you would look at and be like, this feels like something out of like some sort of 80s designer movie thing. Switch 2 and PS4 had the same graphics. Okay. You know, it's interesting because I was talking to my wife about it because I told her, I was like, I need a Switch 2. That's probably what I'm going with, just because I already have the what do you call it, the Nintendo plan or whatever. So since I already have the family plan, I would just add that to it. But one of the I'm looking at something because I'm gonna figure out how to build this back. Okay, that's there. The because I already have the Nintendo family plan, I was just gonna probably add a Switch 2. But I told her, I was like, I have to keep my Switch 1. And the reason why is because I have all my old Saints Rows games on there, and I started going back and replaying. I had just finished again Saints Row 3, and then I went back and I started playing Saints Row 4 Re-elected again, and that game is ridiculous. And I was like, well, I can't get rid of it now for sure. And of course, all my downloadable Doom is on there, so I don't get all the reptiles and snakes in the area though. Oh, you don't like? Yeah, I don't like all the reptiles and snakes in the area. Yeah, there's even in Miami, there's still quite a bit of goblins around there when it comes to some of the creatures. My my favorite. So we were in Coral Gables as well. So when we started our journey, we were in Coral Gables first, and that's kind of a weird town. That's the place that had all the macaws that were like hanging out on the roofs and everything. Kind of a weird looking area. Oh, hold up. There you go. And one of the things that got me was oh one of the things that got me was the area feels very haunted. Like there's just some weird stuff that goes down there. And that was the area where I came across the punk girl in my dream that I feel like was a ghost that came to visit me, and it was not a very pleasant experience. Not at all. I kind of wonder if she died in that hotel. But honestly, after a few of the instances that I've dealt with the supernatural in those areas, sometimes I don't go out of my way to ask and or find out anymore. Kind of sad, but yeah, sometimes the spookies, they spook me a little too much, especially these days. All right, there we go. Now we're going up one more. So I'm exposing this wire a little bit more. My old workplace had a ghost. Ooh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I wanna know some more. So where is this in Florida, or where was this at? Oops. I can see where people were reviewing this saying that they were having problems with it, because there's definitely some issues here. Let's pop that off. Oh man. Alright, we're gonna wrap this up this way. I want to make sure there's no more slack in this. Hold on, push that down right here. We'll have to run it out that way. Okay. Let's see. In Maryland. Oh man. Yeah, I hear a lot of ghost stories from Maryland, the area, because it's got a lot of history. A lot of history. So, did you ever feel threatened by it, or did it bother you? Did it touch you? Did it give you colonitis? I used to a hotel back in the day, and apparently he unveiled himself. Or unalived himself. Oh, those can be. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and state it right now. Some of those cats can be some of the worst possible live-in guest that you can have with you in any sort of haunting scenario. They oftentimes are full of remorse, and they carry that with them, and that's a hard feeling to have around. Hey, ADHD Bricks, how are you? I like the name. I'm guessing that by it you do have ADHD. I have symptoms of it, but I'm not ADHD. I'm on the spectrum, but not ADHD. Nope. Every now and then we notice the mixers come on and we'd hear voices. Whoa, man. Do you ever go back around that hotel? Be cool. Like if you still have like association with it, it'd be kind of interesting to find out. I still get called, and I try to ignore it as much as I can because it's not a healthy obsession. But I still sometimes feel called to this one area where no, it's a bakery now. Okay, I wonder if they have any sightings there. So there was where I used to live here in Denton years ago. I lived in this apartment complex, and I know I've talked about this before, where I had a ghost that was during a certain time of year was always bothering me, kind of a black mass, very scary sort of presence, type that you could feel it push through your home or your apartment and settle over in a corner, and you're like, I don't want to be here anymore, sort of thing. He was like one of those. And one of the key things that used to bug me about it was that he would torment me. He would constantly, and I knew it was a he. It felt more like a kid at the time, but I was like, I don't think it's a kid. Like it felt menacing, absolutely menacing. And years later, we did a investigation with a psychic around the area, and we were, I was with the Ghostbusters. We were leading, the Ghostbuster cosplay group. We were leading all these people around the cemetery, and I was with some juniors, and they're like, where should we go? And I was like, hey, I don't know. And I'm looking around, and there's a blinking light in the corner. I know I've told this story. Oh no, was my comment filtered? I believe so. The last thing I got was it was a bakery. Have I told this story? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Yeah, okay. Okay. So anyways, we went over there, and that's where I found that grave of that guy, and he was, moving our dowsing rods and trying to talk and all that, but he felt like a very violent sort of spirit, and apparently he was not happy that he was gone, A, and B, he was apparently not a very good person, and knew it, and was here because of it. That's something you said got filtered. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. I'm so sorry. That seems to happen a lot. Was it bad? You saying bad stuff on my channel, Jeff? Come on now. Alright, so let's see. Real quick. Let's go in here. And then we're putting these down. So 1 and 2. I'm going to put these on here real quick, and then I'm going to check it. 1, 2. Got this going right up here. What? Oh, I see. That goes here. And then we need another one of these. Shaboom! Alright. And that's how they're building a fridge. Unfortunately, there's nothing in there. No something. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I see that you're saying nope, and you've got like the silly face on there. Uh-huh. Gonna get me in trouble with the TikTok lords. Alright. So real quick, let me turn this bad thing around right here. Ugh. So they've given us this fridge, which I think is kind of interesting. But you open it up and there's nothing. It's just a blank slate wall. Let's take a look at it right here. So it's just, I love the way they put it together. I mean, it looks great. But we probably should have had a sticker or something that looks like it's like food or something inside. Hold on. I want to see what you had to say. I said, once I saw a pair of legs behind a table, but nothing else was. Oh, there have been some people that have mentioned that in certain hauntings where they'll see legs or they'll see like a hand somewhere, but it's very quick and it's not attached to anything, and all of a sudden they turn around, it's gone, but they swore they saw a hand. I saw that there. I've heard people say that they've seen legs just kind of hovering, and that it's a freaky sort of scenario. You're not expecting it at all. When it does happen, you're like, oh, what? Oh, definitely, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Welcome back. I noticed it's like dropping, coming back. Hopefully my feed's fine, and not an issue. All right, so we are now moving. We're creating, I guess, like an oven, but it's clear. There's a lot of this that, in my opinion, after it's built and reviewed, a lot of this is getting redone. Gabe, what's up, my man? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, I'm guessing this is supposed to be some sort of like burner system, but sometimes these feel a little awkward. Like it's clear and it's got these on top, so it doesn't feel, I mean, I'm glad to have a clear one. I can use that for something down the road, but I do believe that this is going to be rebuilt. Okay, we're going to put this on the bottom. Again, another clear one. Not sure why. I'm going to fit that over there. And let's take a look at it this way. That's amusing. And then, of course, wires kind of pulled all over the area. All I could see was just pants and shoes, but nothing else. That's weird. What's a fart's favorite type of music? Is it something that toots horns? I'm just waiting at this point. I know it's on its way. Wind instruments. I should have known. I should have known. I have some friends that I'm consistently sending out fart jokes to, and it was one of those where I found this video of these. It's like these guys and they're hanging out and I guess like they're doing different farts, and one guy is straining it, and just the look on their face, and they're like, it's not that funny anymore. I'm just gonna stop. And he's like, no, I got this. It's like, it's like, whoa, man, you feeling okay? It's like, yeah, I'm just tired. He's always seemed to be more active during the summer months. Probably close to the time, and or close to. There's something associated with that time and him, which could be something as simple as that was around the time when it happened, or that was a time when he himself was more active in life, or if there's an area of interceding lines, like ley lines, it could also be that is an area that gets a lot of activity or magnetic disturbance during that time. I know a lot of people, I've had people scoff at me about the idea of ley lines, but I do believe that they're real. I believe there's magnetic resonance all over this earth. My boss called him Joe. Was there any history on him that like anything? Anybody do any research to find out like anything about him, about his life? I find sometimes it's really hard to do. Hold on, I need another tall one. I'm looking real quick. There we go. Not that I know of. Yeah. So when I went back to look at. I was doing an investigation on the guy's burial that I had looked up, and trying to find information, especially for because he was old and that burial had been there for a very long time. It was very hard finding data on him. Most I could find was, his son that had I guess lived past him and had passed away more recently, and didn't hear anything else out from any other family. A lot of the family was unlisted, so I couldn't look up anything else. But there's a tunnel close to me that was investigated by the Destination Unknown people. Ooh. Josh Gates, yeah. Kind of makes you wonder, like, if there's something with that and him that are now hand in hand. I wouldn't put it past it. A lot of unearthed history that is kind of below our feet that we kind of take for granted. We don't actually see. Huh. Blazing Bricks, what's happening? It's called the Paw Paw Tunnel. And is that Maryland too? Paw Paw Tunnel. I'm going to have to check that out. We have in our area we have a thing called Goatman's Bridge. Yes, Maryland. Okay, Paw Paw Tunnel in Maryland. You know what? Let me grab this and this. Look, I came prepared. Let's see, Paw Paw Tunnel, Maryland. Okay, we'll look that up later. The we have an area here. It's called Goatman's Bridge, and it's supposed to be an alleged place where someone was killed, and there was like a weird thing. I can't remember what all. Like there's a lot of story and there's a lot of myth to it, but historically there's nothing written down. But I think the biggest thing in that area is there's a lot of activity because there's a lot of people doing stuff they're not supposed to do out there. And so whenever we're out there, if we go out there, we tread carefully and we take a large group with us, because there's going on your own is probably the worst idea. It's a part of the Canal Toe path history. Alright, Canal Toe. Let's see. Canal Toe path history. Okay. Yeah, I want to look into that. I want to see what's going on. I don't think I'll at any point be around Maryland, but I'd love to look at it just to see. Oh yeah, we have a goat man. Yeah, I think most areas have some sort of goat man tell. And I mean, even Masters of the Universe has their own goat man. Which, and Crybaby Bride, we had, where I grew up, we had what was called Crybaby Creek. And come to find out, it was the way that the tunnel was built. When water would rain off of it, it would make this whoo sound, so like a little baby. Bridge, so Crybaby Bridge. Oh man. Usually with those, it has something to do with the way that they're built. That's where you're getting the sounds and stuff from. Alright, so let's see. 1, 2. Need one more of our purple bricks. 1, 2. So 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 of our slopes or wedges. And then 2 of our 1x1 bricks. Hold on. Okay. Poppet, what's happening? How are you doing today? You doing good? You got any good builds? Got anything going on? I'm sorry I'm so excited, but I'm excited. I get excited seeing you all. I don't even get to see you. I get to hear from you. But I'm excited about this. Alright, so this is going to go here. Nope. How is this going to go? Right here. So I guess it goes here. Ah, that's our vent hood. That's why. That's why. Okay, let's see. Okay, you're back. Nice. Precious, how are you? You doing good? So I'm going to turn this around here in a minute and take a look, because I believe we built a vent-a-hood. Boom, boom, and boom. You know, interestingly enough, when we were house hunting originally, we went to a lot of places. So I was, at the time, I was a contractor. Nice. That's how we're setting up our. So that's the vent-a-hood. I was a contractor at the time, so like we had to be very careful. First time home buyers, a lot of people kind of overlooked us because they're like, a lot of the banks overlooked us because we were considered a liability. And we finally found a bank. We had co-signers. We had to. And we were shopping for a house. And we went through probably 8 different homes trying to find the right one before we found this one. And it's weird because I oftentimes am kind of sensitive to things going on in the house, right? So when we were house shopping and looking and everything, it's a part of the C&O canal. Okay. Camel toe. I'm going to put C&O canal. C&O canal. Okay. When we were house shopping, we would go to different places and look, and some of them would just feel kind of like empty or weird, or it's like, it's not really where we want to be. And there were some that we went to that I walked into, and I was like, nope, get me out of here as soon as possible, because it had just such a negative vibe in it. You said it's about 20 miles from you? Okay. And there was one house that I went into that was just, it was not vibing with me at all. It had a really dark sort of feeling about it. Like it was just like one of those where it's like, I've got to get out of here. It just felt kind of cold and like it was just staring at me. And then had some that were just, they felt kind of chaotic. When we made it to this one and we came into this house, I walked in and automatically it was like almost like whatever was there was like, hey, welcome home. And it felt like the light shining through the window was such a high point for me that it seemed to almost glow like this angelic gold glow. And I knew that this is where we were gonna live, and it's pretty. This place has been awesome. Hold on, Jeff. I see that you wrote something. I want to see what you got, but I've got to get these stuck here. Okay. I used to ride your bike through it when I was a kid. From the canal. So growing up, where I'm at in Texas, we don't have like a lot of canals where I grew up. We had culverts and stuff that we would kind of go through here and there, but never anything crazy and wild. No canals or like mining areas, things like that. So there's a part of me that feels like I was kind of cheated having to grow up in Texas. But, that's just me being silly. Because I watch, like, especially movies like Stephen King stuff, it always seems like, because most of that's in Maryland too, isn't it? I believe. Alright, here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pop these on here. I've got bar, a stem, and this. So we're creating kind of a hanging plant here. Let me see what all is here. Boom. Boom. 1, 2. My thing keeps going off about someone at my door, I'm guessing. My kid's friends are here, probably trying to talk him into going out. Which I'm fine with as long as he's back at a certain time, because I want us to go to the movie. I've been wanting to go watch He-Man so bad. So I'm like, nope, don't take me away from my movie, man. It's fine. If we don't see it, we don't see it. That's just the way it's going to go. Alright. I like this method here for hanging plants. Like, I dig that quite a bit. Alright. We need 2 more. Am I correct? 2, 3, 4. We should have 4 total. 1, 2, and then we need a lavender brick over here. Okay. And we're about to build this up right over here. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. So this is going to go right here. This is going right here, but it's going to swing out and go over this way. I might need to pull that out just a little bit. Okay, so I guess it goes kind of like that. And then we got 1, 2, and that's going to fit onto here. I do like the way that they're doing this top portion. I am enjoying this quite a bit. I probably enjoy it more than the bottom. However, I do still believe that some of what's up here should be down here. This battery pack probably needs to be buried underneath, and we probably need to find new ways to run wires up into some of this. Like some of this, like there's interesting the way they have it set, but there's some of these that could be used over here easily and kind of hidden in the wall that would make some of this build a little more cohesive and not so fragile, because that's another big thing. A lot of this feels very fragile, like I'm just about to lose quite a bit. That thing keeps popping off. Windows don't shut all the way. It's an old house, man. What can I say? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need panes for each one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Boom. Boom. Boom and boom. Gabe, you still there? So these are, so we got 1 set on the bottom. So we're going 4 on the bottom, 3 or 2 bigger ones going up, and then another set of 4 on the top. Now the one thing that's going to drive me crazy is there's a gap right here between the windows and that. I would probably end up covering that up too. Okay, and that's going to pinch the wire over there. Just to let you know. That's a little bit of a bad design. Alright. Alright, here we go. Now we have our 2 big windowsills. 1. Need 1 more. 2, and another one of these. Let's see if these fit any better. If they're, yeah. They're just as loose. That drives me crazy. Let's see if I can put them on here. I'm gonna like this. They're like fighting window panes. Ugh. Maybe I might look in to see if I can order some new ones. Oh my goodness. Alright, here we go. A little tight of a fit, guys. Alright, turn that way, turn that way. Again, because a lot of this stuff I get I build as they have it, review it, and then I go in. The only time I ever change anything is when I'm looking, I'm like, that's obviously not going to work. Like, I see it immediately, and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to function the way it needs to function. And so then I'm like, hey, let's turn around and let's build it this way. And oftentimes I tried, okay, I'm back. I did find some pictures of the gold mine. Okay, yeah. Let me, when I get done a little bit later today or tomorrow, Jeff, I'll pull out my gold mine. I'll take a look at it, and then I can shoot you pictures of how I put it together. We can compare and see. You're probably, like, the way that you did it's probably the same way I have it done. It's just a little awkward. I wanted to say I modded mine. I moved it around just a little bit, just so it felt more like a tent, and wasn't so, because it kind of does this weird flat thing, this weird kind of teepee flat thing. So, like I said, give me some time, because I'll pull it down, and I'll take a look at it and see kind of what's going on. I can send you the picture or video of what I did, if that helps. Okay, so we are taking this, we're putting these two headlight bricks, put them upside down, and we're putting this right here. This is going to pin right into the bottom. It's going to pin onto the bottom over here. So another junction box. Pretty interesting way of building kind of a junction box using headlight bricks. Well, not bad. Not bad at all. Here, I'll kind of show right up there too. Not a bad technique. And then this is going to pin right up here onto there. And then we need our... Now, it says that we should have a string that has white on it. I don't think we have that. I think we've got a string that's got black line. So that's what I'm going to go with. Okay, so it's this one right here. We need a 1x12. Let's check it. 1x12. A 1x6. How many? 1x4. 2 1x3s. And a 1x4 plate. Just one. Okay. Wait. We want the lighter one. Lighter pink. Okay, no problem. Okay, yeah. Like I said, it's anytime, like, if you have a question and you're like, hey, I want to pick your brain about this or this, you know, let me know, because I'm all willing to help out and help kind of figure something out. I like doing that sort of stuff. That's sort of the kind of crazy thing. Just the only thing is I struggle with the message system on TikTok. So oftentimes if I miss something, I just don't want you to think I'm being rude. It just means that I might not have seen it, or I can't find where it is. But I'll definitely get back to you and help you out as best I can. Alright, so this is going to pin right up to here. I'm going to try this without crashing out. When I did the, I really love those firelights. Oh yeah, no, the strobing firelights are cool. When I did the, what was it, the fire on my ranger camp, and I built, was it that one, or no, it was another one. I think it was this one. Yeah, so this one right here has 2 strobing lights in it. I don't know if this has batteries in it or not. I might have to take this off and take a look. Let's see. It was like one of those I might have left on. But one of the things that I did, so I got an extra set. I had one set of lights that were like their strobing lights that came with the Lumebrix dance battle. And there's 2 lights on one strand, right? And they are, I believe one is solid and then like one does like the fade in and out. Let me take this off because I want to show you this technique. It's actually pretty cool. So what I did was I wanted some lights for this particular model, and I was kind of like, I had these lights and they had to replace the strand of lights to fit on the other model because this one of these wouldn't actually plug down. So I had this extra set of lights. I'm like, what in the world do I do with this thing, you know? Yeah. And so what I did was let's take these out. Put them over here. Excuse me, rascal. And I'm going to grab these right here. There you go. Might have to use my hobby knife for this. So I had these extra lights. I was like, well, I don't know what to do with these. Like, I want to put some lights in there, but I don't want to buy like a light kit. So it's like anytime I have like leftovers or I have like lights that are damaged because the studs aren't working, but they're kind of working, I'll use them in some form or fashion into my build the best that I can. So let me put these in here and we'll try this out, because I was very proud of how I did this. Okay. Throw that up there, see if this is what we need. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna fit that back up there. Okay, so what it is that this came with 2 strobing lights. And so I just took both the lights and I set them underneath the orange to create kind of the crackling fire effect. So sometimes like they'll both strobe off and on every once in a while and fade in and out. And so it stays lit, but it uses 2 in order to create that kind of ongoing fire look. And I absolutely, like, I didn't want to get rid of the lights. I was like, they're still good. They just don't stud to anything. The bottom, the anti-stud, doesn't work, but the top stud does. And so I just put a tile under there and then threw them in there and then threw the fire pieces on and studded it to the other. And it just force fit and it worked so well that I just left it in there. And this was a mock that I made that was supposed to be like my interview room, blah 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 sort of thing. Like, oh hey, this is where it was supposed to sit on top of a mic, and I was gonna have this and I was gonna talk in it, and I have like a chair that fits there. Let's see if I can fit that on there. Yeah, like a chair that fits there, and then you just turn the whole thing on. You've got like a little light, and you're gonna talk into the mic, you know, and you've got this as your thing. But yeah, it didn't last, and some of the shutters like kind of exposed some of the wires, which I was like, I'd like to change that up at some point. But that was my little teeny tiny, mock that I made, and I was like, I want to use these lights for something. And so having 2 of the strobing lights in there keep the fire going, but give it this kind of like crackling effect, like a low roaring fire. And it's something, I don't know if the blacksmith uses that or not, but I think they might use like 1 on 1 fading, but having 2 fading ones work really really well. So if you ever get an extra light kit and you want to mod something, having 2 of those fading Lumebrix lights, you put them together and then put like orange, translucent orange stuff on top, where you could put translucent yellow and then translucent orange on top and make like a big fire. Oh, it looks great. Absolutely looks great. These are trash. Throw those away. I dig them. It's like now that I'm done nerding out about that, I go back to doing this. Hey, thank you. Yeah, no, that mock was one of those. I can't even remember like when I built it. It was one of those that was like I had plans on building it, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do this, and kind of get crazy with it, and I was gonna build like a whole mic out of it, and that just never happened. I was like, well, I think what it was is when I finally got my lav light out and I decided to use it, I recorded some test footage with it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And when I heard all the footage come back, I was like, this is awful. It sounds so bad. So I was like, yeah, I'm just not gonna use it anymore. I have 3 fireplace lights with the forge house. Yeah, okay, so the forge, the blacksmith, and the blacksmith forge. Yeah, for the fire pit, I guess they use multiples. So do they use 3 fading lights or just like 3 just on constantly on lights? Because Lumebricks would get a lot if they would use, like, if they wanted to use 3 and then use 1 on and then 2 fades, that'll create that sort of fire effect, which is pretty cool when you build it that way. 1, 2, and then I need this one right here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2. I'm gonna throw these together real quick. 1, 2. This is supposed to go right here. 1, 2. Give me a second. I have a feeling you wrote something, but I wanna get this built real quick so I can get this floor done. We don't need that. And this one goes right here. Okay. 3 fading orange lights, but they're attached. Okay. Yeah, I mean, but again, like, just having that 2 or 3 together fading. So, like, I like the cowboy camp, I believe, has a fading light for the fire pit. Ranger camp has the same one, just 1 light for the fire pit. But I found that just 2 of them, if 2 of them together, if you were to put it on, like, you know, you got a 2 by 2 plate and you're building a fire around it, put 1 on one side, 1 on the other, then you can put, you know, 2 studs to build stuff up over it. Just having those 2 lights there back to back make the fire feel more real overall. And that was one of the things that if I could, like, the Ranger campfire is still that kind of on off fading, and I thought about taking the torch and putting it over there and putting it inside the fire so the fire felt more like just kind of stable, but they're the smart round studded pieces. Yeah, yep. Small. The teeny tiny, the ones that are the proprietaries. They kind of, that coupling, they come up and they've got a slit where you put the LED in, and then the slit at the top. So if you were trying to run a wire through, you could do it. That's one of their proprietary brick pieces. It's what they use for running, like, wires up through something from posts, so you could run it up and then pull the wire over, and then you could stack them inside of a tube and then run the wire out and put stuff on top. I like those bricks. I've seen a couple people trying to pull some of the I've seen a couple companies, like very small branded companies, trying to pull some of the Lumebricks pieces and kind of kind of, how do I put it? They're like pulling their pieces and now utilizing them. So they're starting to get mocked in their own way. The ones you put the post through. Yeah, that's exactly the one I'm thinking. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3. This is going to be kind of a difficult thing to do. And I say that because not sure I like this. I'm going to do this. Okay, so they have us putting this on top first based on this instruction and then adding this. Instead, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to take these pieces off right here. I'm going to do the smart thing. And when I say smart thing, I mean the thing that we should all be doing, which is building a little bit at a time. I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces down. And we need to structurally sound this one first. So what they're doing is they're saying, hey, go ahead and put in this light that's now running through your build. Attach it up here and then flip it over and put it down. Matt, what's up, buddy? How are you today? I hope you're doing good, man. Oh, I need to get on and hang out with you guys one late night. Now that it's summer, I could do that. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use these pieces here. This is not the way that that's supposed to be set up, but I'm using these little plate jumpers, or like the wire guides, to flip that over to keep that upright. And we're going to skip ahead. We're going to put the plates down, and then we'll put the light in and build it in. You're like, heck yeah, dude. Man, I had so much fun that day. And now, like I said, now that it's summer and I'm not beholden to getting up early and going to class and everything, I could probably hang out late. I just need to figure out when you guys are going to be on and your schedule and come hang out. Figure out what I can come and build. I still have my Batmobile that I did not build that Tony sent me. So maybe I should ask him and see if he wants to jump on. But he's been busy, apparently. I have not gotten to hear from him in a while. So how's life treating you? You doing okay? Steve? Oh, Steve will be on tonight? Okay. What time are you guys going on? Ooh. Okay, this is going to go right here. I'm pressing these down. Now, these plates, the clutch on this is really tight. I'm going to go ahead and warn you now. So, we have another 1x8 that's going here. Let me fit these plates real quick and I'll check my messages. Okay, that's going to fit in right there. We got 1x6. 1x4, a 1x3, and now 1x6. Now, there we go. Now, this as a floor built is going to feel easier now to pin your light onto the bottom, fix these plates, because now if I remove these, it's not wobbling around. And that should have been something. This should have been put over here. So you don't put your lights on yet. Put them on after 99. Let's see. Probably 7-ish. Okay, up late. Wink, wink. Thank you for the wink, wink. Smart. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say the last time, about the light. Yeah, because here's the thing. Now I can go backwards. Now I can say, okay, now where do you have these two lights going? Because we have two. We have one, and the other one is right here. And they're not setting it up where you could take each floor off. Instead, it's like a dollhouse. You open up the side. And I know that there's some people in my AFOL community, they're like, why do I want a dollhouse? But that's how you get in there. You gotta go. Hey, it was good seeing you too, Jeff. Take care. And when I think about it, I can send you pictures of what I did with the tent for the cowboy camp. We'll compare them. We'll see how it works. But I'll see you later. Be good. So with that being said, now we could take this guy right here. We'll flip it around and we'll pin it down. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 back. Right there. So usually when you see something like this, that's a sign of a company that does not understand their product very, very well. And that is, again, this is my first Cayi bricks piece. I've never really heard of them. And I'm kind of excited because they're using proprietary pieces that are set up with Lume bricks. Which is like, oh man, that's something. But again, like they're not leaving like a lot of slack. They're not leaving a lot of things here that would make this build easy for you. Is that supposed to go this way? Or are we flipping it around that way? Yeah. So that's supposed to fit to this side right over there. Okay. And this is supposed to fit right up there. They did not get us a lot of slack on this one. That's going to end up becoming a bit of a problem because we're supposed to have enough slack from that light that's supposed to go all the way up into this for a lamp. But there's no room. In all honesty, that might be something that would probably have been better just to take it, not even put it, route it up through things, and then put it up in the top. It says 52 centimeters. However, I don't think they thought through how much 52 centimeters is, because that's a tight fit. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this. So yeah. So the wires coming out here are going to be the wires that are supposed to be set up for this. And then this light is supposed to go up in the top. Let's see what light they're putting out there, because I might switch the two lights around. Because one has more slack than the other. And one has no slack in it at all. So if it's just a little light, we're not having to worry about, oh, it's supposed to be for a little lamp. I got shorted some wire on that one. It's not going to be very good. Okay. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Because I know where this is at up here, I'm going to go ahead and drop this and this. And probably what we'll do is we might actually have to see, I'm looking at my time right now. So I want to make sure I don't go over, because it's been at 2 hours. I'm more afraid that if I jump in on bag 4, because that's coming up. If I jump in on bag 4, yeah, we won't have time. So we're going to be finishing up this portion today for bag 3, and then we'll have to come back for one more day for bag 4. So, but with that, we have got to fix this. So, I'll bring this up over here, and I'm going to start dismantling some of this where the wire stuff is set. And I'm thinking this wire for this bottom needs to pull out from its floorboards, and it actually needs to go way back over here. Now the other wire for the skylight, or this main light over here, that's fine. That can run through all this. But the other one probably needs to go elsewhere. I'm going to go ahead and pull all of this down. Patience. All about patience right now. And I'm slowly losing it. Okay. I get their thought process on how we're supposed to be getting the wires in there. but yeah, it doesn't. Because there's a lot of extra loose wire in there. A lot of extra. So we need to settle this. I'm going to take that off right there. I'm going to flip this down and back because I'm looking in here into the actual build. And we have a lot of loose wire. But nothing that feels like it's like, hey, this is where we need to go. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to flip this on. Okay. That's this wire is this one. Okay, so we got that settled. This wire, one of these is supposed to go out here. That's this middle one. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this wire right here. I never thought I was going to be doing like electrical work today. Okay. And then this one, out of the way, plant. That one is the bar light. And then this one over here is obviously the last light. Okay. So I'm going to take the bar light. And I'm going to move things around because it does not work where it's at. Okay, so that should be the bar light. Yes. Now this, the outdoor light, and I'll probably need to pull some slack out of it too. That goes over there. Okay. And then we've got that light over here. All right. So with that being said and done, let's put, actually this would, I guess I'll just pin it out here. All right, so let's see. Making sure I didn't miss anything. So we've got several lights in here that need a little bit more slack. So we're going to pull all the slack out of this. Look at me go, man. All right. So we've got this. And then now I'm going to pull this off right here. And I'm kind of setting it where I can put it back together here in a minute. I'm going to pull this off right here. Okay. We're going to pull some slack out right here. That's where it's getting pinched. Okay. So, Avi, there's the way that they had us put this together is not very sharp, man. They did not realize quite how much slack one had and how much not slack the other one had. You can say it's 52 centimeters, but if you're not treating it as if it's only 52 centimeters, it's not gonna work, man. And besides, there's some areas where we could have put this part of the build through the floorboards, and we didn't do that either. Now, it's kind of hard to get your fingers in there once it's put together. Okay. take this bottom row of windows off. Lots of rebuilding today. Oi, Cayi, Cayi, Cayi. And thankfully, because they have us like wrapping wires up on one thing and the other and the other, and I'm like, no, man, that's not a very sharp idea. And then I've already modded and pulled some of these particular pieces out through different directions and changed the orientation of some of these wire pieces. Again, it's like one of those, once you start working with wires, especially like as you're working with Luma bricks, because I'm like 35 sets in for Luma bricks. I love them. Though I will admit, I was crashing out on my last one. Hey, Kobe. I did, what was it? The urban police convoy, and I had some struggles there, and I was starting to crash out a few times. Alright, now that we've got some slack in this, gonna close that. Okay, now let's build this section. Let's rebuild this where it makes sense. So we're going to run the wire up through here and then bring it out. So we want the wire to go here and out on the side, because we're going to have a little bit of room with the offset portion of this window. So we're going to run these through here and out over there. Shmo now. There we go. And then we'll push that wire down, because again, the whole reason for the bricks is time to get off. Get off of what? Like me get off? Wouldn't be surprised. I probably do at some point need to get off, but I'm, like I said, I'm kind of warping myself on these wires here. All right. All right, so I'm gonna push that wire down, and then I'm gonna go up one more here. Boom. And then now this should give me hopefully a little bit more slack for the floor coming up. So we'll run this one over here. Pull it through there. And we'll have one exposed wire on the outside. That's not that big of a deal. Just kidding. Are you talking about me getting off? Time for you to stop crashing out, old man. Dude, I will go ahead and tell you, my kid, because of the fact that you call me Unc, he all of a sudden he's like, oh, I can call you Uncle. I'm like, hey, I'm your dad, man. You better not mess with me. But he has gotten a whole brand new attitude based on the online interaction between you and I. He is all about trying to embarrass me. All right, here we go. Now, there we go. Now that's a little bit better. We'll pop this window back in since I broke it off. Okay, and then we'll tenderly pick this up and move it this way. And now we'll put our plants back up here to hide this area right over there. Use tweezers to push that down. Hanging plant's gonna go over here. Kind of bring it over to the window. There you go. And now we'll build up from that. Alright, so this should go right, cha. I'm guessing that's supposed to be a pan and a cup. It feels kind of weird being over there across the window. But hey, what do I know, right? Alright, now we're going to fit. We've got these. We'll drape over here. I haven't turned anything off yet. I should probably do that now. Alright. So now that we have this set. We'll turn this, and then this is supposed to fit onto here. Now, we still have a lot of slack up here. This one, not so much. So let's find out where. Let's find out where this other light's supposed to be, because it might need to wrap up and around something. Because I've pulled out all the slack that I can get without actually having it run across the room. And I was like, maybe I used the wrong one, but I believe that was the longest one that I had. So with that, the light is going to go right up there by the door. I don't think I have enough slack for it. See, this would almost been better if it just came up out of the floor, but then it would be right in the way. So I might be rebuilding the top area where the light is, and I might be finding a way to run it up through there. So for right now, because I've got areas, but man, that is too tight of a fit. And this, like if they had a bar light, I'd put that one in there, but they do not have a bar light. So let's do this. Let's put, go ahead and snap that one into place. We'll go ahead and start our line over here. So let's, because that should fit right up into there. Okay. We're going to do it this way. Oy vey. Okay, we're going to flip this back. I'm going to turn it this way. I think I broke the window again. We're going to put this in here. I will go ahead and admit the way that they are building this particular part of the set does not make a lot of sense. Not at all. Okay. Fit all this down. One. This might have been a good one just to build it in stages. Because again, some of the clutch power on these are just too tight. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. All right. Put our window back in. How many times are we going to break that off today and then talk about having to put it back together? at least one more time. All right, now look, I remember to do that. Now we'll try to pin this wire in over here. Okay. Yeah, some of this just doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's do this. Let's take this guy. We're going to pin it up over here. Let's take, we want this to be over the kitchen area. So I'm going to pin it up over here across this. And now we'll start wrapping our wire through. Oh man. Yeah, this is not good. This is a little unnerving the way they put some of this together. Not in a good way. Not in a good way. But again, it's definitely not Luma bricks. I can say wholeheartedly. I guess we'll throw that one up there. I don't know how that's going to work. We're going to have to move some things around. In other words, what they have planned and what actually is going to work is not the same thing at all. So we'll pin this wire down over here. Or not. Darn these adult-sized hands. And then we'll get one more. I'd like to push these, pin these down over here. Pin these down over here. Oh man. Like, I understand their reasoning for putting certain things in certain areas. I might have to rebuild that off camera. Well, I got this part in. There's a few things, like having this kind of in the way. Like, we have a table right here. Well, you can't get in to do any play or anything there. Like, it's kind of like, it's like right where you need to be. And then having that feels kind of like stiff where that doesn't want to like set in correctly. The fact that, I'm going to throw these back in here. I'll have to figure that out later. The fact in order to get to the lights, you got to flip that on. You got to go through the front door. But now the front door is kind of useless because it's not where it needs to be. There's some interesting stuff in this. And there's some stuff that I do like. But I do feel like the wiring should all be over here on this side, so the lights and stuff need to move to this side. So there might be some things, once this is built and reviewed, I have a feeling I might be taking this thing, pulling a lot of it down, and rebuilding aspects of it, because it is not, it's not where it should be. So we're going to finish up bag 3. I know I've already changed so many aspects of this. And I don't know, the windows being loose is kind of problematic. These things are constantly falling off. This is problematic. This is something that felt like this should have been set back. I like the design. I think it looks cool. But I could imagine putting that in the city, getting bumped at falls. Now you're in there like in the city trying to tweezer things together. Oh, that does not sound like a fun time for me. Alright, we're going to pin that one over there. That one's pinned up here. We'll finish up with bag 3. I did not know bag 3 was going to be so aggravating. Alright, so we want 1, 2, 3. Pull that back up there. 4, 5, let's see, that's 6 and 7. Need 17 of the gray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have a few extras, kind of making me concerned. Oh. No, we've got, I have a feeling it's all of these. Alright. Instead of counting them, I have a feeling we're using all of it. So let me just pull the corners and let me start building our corners out. So one corner. And we got blue. And then gray. And then a 1x. Okay. And then blue, gray, and then a corner. Okay. if anything, it'll look good on the outside. So even if it's like one of those where it's like, hey, I don't get, like, there's certain things that I might not like on the inside, I still want it to be accessible from the inside, especially the way I'm planning on putting the city together, where you can pull out blocks and do what you want. I want to be able to have access to the inside, but I might have to switch up some things, so that way certain wires will fit and meet and go where they need to go. I would, in this instance, kind of yell, Cayi, I can't believe you, blah, 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 and crash out, but I don't think it's going to be worth it. I don't think they have enough following where that's kind of a big deal. But if they are listening, you probably want to redo your design where the lights are on all struggle or all go on one side of the house and push out to areas so there's nothing on the doors. That's the first thing. Having wires on doors, like play doors, is already kind of unnerving. But then to have all the excess wire all over the place. Find one power source, put it in an area that you can cover, that's still also easily accessible, and then you can start doing and putting things up to the wall. And again, I like that they had these proprietary bricks, like Luma bricks. Pretty cool. But you really want to figure out, like, that should be, everything should be coming up to this wall, and the battery pack should be over here at some point. Kind of buried, and then you can just switch it that way. But what do I know, man? What do I know? So now we are, oh, and the other thing, don't build on base plates. Build on a plate and then go from there. So we need 1 by 4s, 1 by 3s, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these rocker plates, which I needed some of those the other day. 1, 2, 3, and 4 L tiles. It looks like 10 of these slopes or wedges. So 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to be building this section up on top. Kind of building it as is. So we've got tiles, rockers, and then the wedges here. So we'll go ahead and put our L tiles down. That'll help. That'll solidify these pieces from falling off and breaking on me as I'm trying to work. Let me go ahead and turn this off in here. Boom. 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 That's all done. Then we got rockers. 1, 2. We should have a 3 and then a 4. So they're staggering their pieces, which is good because that means it's going to make it stronger overall. Hey Mar, how are you? Which is smart. They're playing the smart long game, which is what we want. Boom. And boom. And then 2 more rockers. 1 here. And 1 here. And now we're putting our wedges. Now the wedges are the slopes. They're going inverted in towards the build because they're going to be basically putting an A-frame type roof on there. So it'll be slanted on both ways, and this is going to be the attic bedroom space. I don't know how I feel about that, especially considering we have a ground floor that has nothing in it. When this gets rebuilt, that ground floor will become, a lot of the living room and stuff will be down there. The kitchen stuff will be here. Breakfast nook over there. Fixing the stairs over there that lead up to nothing. Pulling the power section somewhere else. You can have the story that they're just moving in, that's great. But the ground floor being nothing with just some tools, it feels a little odd. Odd in my opinion. Not in a good way odd. Like, just odd. Like, huh. I think you just wanted to put some parts in there. And it shows. Okay, so we've got this here. We've got our 1, 2, and then we should have a computer screen piece. So let's find our computer screen piece. Boom and boom. Oops. And that's going to fit onto here. Okay. And this is supposed to fit onto here. And we're turning this whole thing so it's going to go the opposite direction. So this is going to turn this way. And we've got, this goes here with our little computer screen. It's a very odd computer screen. It's very thin. Thin in a very awkward way. Hold up just a little bit there. Okay. Then we've got this box. So we're creating a desk, and it's very, some of this could be rebuilt too. Like I said, I build as is. I build it for what it's worth, and then I'm going to mod it, fix it later. So we're in 103 right here. So we've got our chair. It's going to go right here like this. And that should go 1, 2. Kind of goes right there, I believe. Okay. And then we've got these here. So let's see. We need a 2x that goes here. A 1x3. And then we should have this going up on top for a jumper plate. So 2x3 jumper plate. And then a 2x2 plate. And we're changing up the colors a little bit so one looks a little bit lighter, so it's almost like a tabletop. But again, there's nothing to indicate drawers or anything, and it feels rather small, especially compared to that chair. It should probably have gone up another brick's worth, so some of that'll probably end up being changed. Snot brick, and we're going to grab one of these. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an ingot, or 2 ingots I should say, and then a 1x4. Okay, so we got our snot brick. Put that on here. An ingot, a plate, another ingot. So I guess like the drawers open slightly. And then these are going to go across here. So 1, 2. I'm not always the biggest fan of one studding some of these, but makes sense. 3, 4. Take those. We're going to press that down. Boom. Okay. And this is to go over here. So we're going to pull this over this way. This is supposed to fit here. Interesting, they don't have anything in this corner. So that feels kind of empty, in my opinion. But hopefully we're putting stuff there. And not just filling up the table with just random things. We're hopefully going to be putting functional items in specific areas. This is going here. I don't know why. That felt more like an aftermath thought than anything else. We do get a keyboard. Now, this one doesn't have printed pieces. They're all stickers, so that's one thing to keep in mind. But we're going to put our sticker down for our keyboard. Keyboard is going to go right here across this. It's not want to snap down for some odd reason, because it never seated. Okay, gonna snap down there. We're gonna put our computer screen back up. We're using this round tile for a mouse. So it's a round, it's a 1x1 round with a curved end on it, half round, half flat. That's what they use as a mouse. Pretty good. I've seen it before. Lego's done that before where they printed a mouse on there, like a little button details, so it looks like an actual functioning mouse. Okay, I'm guessing this is going to go up here. Okay, and then we got some random plants without a pot. That's a little odd. Odd in my opinion. That's going to go here. I had it right. It's just okay. There it goes. And then we've got. Is that translucent? Yeah, translucent. Putting binoculars on here, so he's got binoculars on his desk. Don't know why, but okay. Storytelling is like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it. We've got this weird pink gem that's gonna go right here. Okay. We've got like a little box that we're making using 1x1. So 1x1 plate with a 1x1 tile on top. Easy way to make little boxes. Works. If you got printing that can go on that, makes it even better. Especially on the top of the box. Okay, and that's going to go right here. Okay. And then we've got this piece here with a translucent tile or translucent plate that's going there. So I'm guessing that's like a little cup, right? And that's it. Okay. So we do have parts left over, which is okay. It's kind of what I expected. We have some extras. We've got a lot of these light plate pieces or like the wire pieces. When I get in, because this lamp is supposed to go like over here, there's not enough room. Just not. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way. I might have to go back, pull that wire out, rework it up through something in order for it to fit over there, because it just doesn't fit. I think the key area, and something that we have to keep in mind, is that in all honesty, if the lights are over here, like this thing, we got a wire here. Obviously, we're gonna see that. This is gonna be a light post out here. This wire is gonna be here on the end of the light post. This having a wire here makes sense. Like this having a wire here, that makes total sense for what we're doing. Like this is okay. But anything else after that, like when we are building, we want all the wires, instead of it being all over the place and running across the floor, that should have all been, this box should have been over there. And then these wires, all this should have been run up through the bricks, through these areas into here. And instead of having a light on the door, that should have been just a light over here. It'd have been easier just to have the light here and have the wires running through that. This makes no sense to me. And I mean, it looks good, and I like aspects of the build. The same thing like with this. We got a chair here, we got boxes here, we got a kitchen up here. That kitchen should go down here. Kitchen should go down here. Some of this living space stuff should be down here. You got a breakfast nook and no one's nooking in the breakfast. Some of that doesn't make sense. I guess having like a little office thing in the attic, this portion up here makes sense, but this next section down here, this should have been the bedroom. And that's where I'm kind of like, why is this not the bedroom? Could build could have built some stinking, oh my goodness, curtains in there. Like the oven, like you wouldn't want to oven a floor up. You'd want it down. Because then that creates heat down that can warp the boards. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And so for me, like I like it. I think the house overall looks cool, and it's definitely something that I like. But I have a feeling a lot of this, when it comes time to get it ready to put in the city, a lot of this is getting rebuilt. Like, rebuilt. It does not work, in my opinion. I think the outside works well. The interior and the way that the lights are set up, they do not. Alright, listen. I'm going to hold off on bag 4. We'll finish up bag 4 next week. I'll do it there so that way we got a little bit more time, and it gives me a chance to try to rework some of the wiring in here to figure out how much slack I can get for the lamp, because we're supposed to have a lamp right here. There's no room right now, absolutely none. So I might be trying to refigure out how to put that light and stuff up in there. So we'll work on it over time, but we'll do bag 4 next week. So with that being said, hey, I thank you all for showing up. Those who showed up, chit-chatted, talked, had a blast chit-chatting with me, that sort of stuff. I appreciate you like no other's business. You have no idea what that means for me. It means a lot. So Kobe, come and chit-chat. Matt, come and chit-chat. Jeff, come and chit-chat. Ben, come to chit-chat. Hey, I appreciate you guys. He's over on the other stream. So I do appreciate you. Some people, if you were watching on the YT or the TDub, I don't always see who's watching there, but I do thank you all for showing up. It means a lot. I will probably get this eventually down in the shop and show notes, things like that. So we'll have those things up and available for you over time. But I got to finish building it. I'll review it, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. Hey, thank you all for showing up. I appreciate you. Hey, I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you can do about it. Good luck with the build, and happy brick hunting.